Hey guys, MP Carlson here, and welcome back to another Weekly Cycle podcast. And we're doing an on-camera one this time, because, well, I don't really know why. I just thought, just change it up a bit, do something a bit special. I haven't made one of these in a while, and in fact I haven't really made any videos in a while. There haven't been many videos on the channel recently, and that's mostly due to the fact that I've just been working on big projects and haven't got any of them done yet, so there's nothing to show. I did put out that short little thing on the 15th as a little teaser to what's coming on the 3rd of the 3rd of March. And I'm surprised how many of you didn't get it, actually. I mean, I've read through the comments a number of times, and most of you know what it is, because I think it's pretty obvious. There's enough hints, there's enough clues in the video to give away what it actually is. But some people still didn't get it, so I'll tell you right now. It's the tennis round 3. That's what it is. The tennis match between me and Jimmy Davis. It's been a while since the last round. I think it was September. I have to check that. I think it might have been September. So yeah, it's been a few months and there hasn't been another round, but round 3 is definitely coming, and it's on its way, and in fact, I'm finishing it up today, pretty much. I don't think I'll get it properly finished today, but I'll get it finished over the next 2 or 3 days. It'll be done by the end of the week, I'm pretty sure. So, this will come out on Sunday, hopefully. I mean, I'm not sure, but if this comes out on Sunday, chances are it is finished, but, you know, I'm not uploading it until the 3rd, because I promised everyone it would be on the 3rd. And I just thought that just was nice, because it's round 3, so I can upload it on the 3rd day of the 3rd month, or the 3rd month of the 3rd day, depending how you say the date. It doesn't matter. Either way, the 3rd of the 3rd is still the 3rd of the 3rd. I'm looking forward to getting that done. I'm looking forward to putting it out and seeing what you guys think of it. I think I've done pretty well on it. Not to toot my own horn, although that is what I'm doing. I'm tooting my own horn. But I don't care. I'm not gonna be modest here. I think I did a pretty good job on it. It's probably one of my favourite short videos that I've made. In fact, it probably is my favourite short video I've made. If you don't count the bigger ones that are like over 12 minutes, like Crustacean and Mash Bandicoot, Five Nights at Foster's, things like that, I think that this round 3 is probably the best video I've made apart from those. I think I did it. I think I did a good job. I think I upped the game a bit, because I made round 1, and looking back on round 1 now, there are a lot of things that I thought that wasn't very well done. I could have done that better. I'm not really happy with the way that turned out, but you know, Jimmy Davis, he took that and he turned it into something so much better in round 2, and he really upped the game. Then I thought, okay, well, in round 3, I've really got to do my best here. I've been going back over it a lot of times, and I was like talking to Jimmy about this on Discord as well. How I'm not sure if I have done it the best way I could, in terms of like how much of round 2 and round 1 as well I used in round 3. I mean, I've been looking back over it, and I'm thinking, like, okay, every scene, I know I've taken this bit and I've turned it into this, or I've expanded upon this, stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure that it should feel like round 3 of a tennis match as opposed to a separate thing. Because, I mean, that's the thing, I didn't have to worry about that in round 1, because in round 1 I just thought, okay, well, I just got to make a YouTube poop. I mean, there were a few things in there that I thought, okay, I could put this in because that's the thing that could be expanded upon in future rounds, and just like some more simplistic stuff that I thought, okay, well, if I do this in a kind of simplistic way, then it can be expanded upon. But you know, Jimmy had the task of being the first one to take a round and then make a YTP of that round, and I think he did a really good job of it. And I thought, okay, well, this time it's my turn, and not only am I using round 2, but I'm also using a tiny bit of round 1 as well. Some of the just like really small things, not like really. I don't think it's really noticeable unless I point it out to you. But there are a few things that I put in round 1 Jimmy didn't do anything with in round 2, so I have kind of brought back a bit for round 3. Not much. It's mostly centered on round 2 and pooping round 2 as opposed to pooping round 1. But I think it's good. And the third act, well, maybe not the third act, it's probably like the last minute or so of the video is something that I've been going back over again and again, trying to think, okay, I want to do this, but I can't do it in this way, and it's been really difficult to try and think of the perfect way to do it, because I'm like, okay, well, I've had this idea. This is something that I wanted to do for a while, since we actually started the tennis match. I thought, okay, well, this is something I want to move it into. But at the same time, I'm like, well, that kind of feels a bit forced and a bit. It feels kind of separate from the rest of it. So I thought, okay, well then I just got to bombard it with a load of references to round 2 and possibly round 1 as well. And so I did that, and I kind of built it up from scratch, from bits from round 1 and round 2, mostly from round 2. And then I kind of just looked at it and I thought, this just doesn't feel right. And so I just kind of scrapped the entire scene, and I just thought, okay, let's think of something else. Let's think of something. Like, I went through it and I thought, well, some of these things work. This works, and the end bit works. The resolution of the scene works. But I just don't like how it begins in some of the middle bits. So I was like thinking about this for quite a while. In fact, pretty much over the last week, I was going over it and just thinking, how can I do this? What can I do to this? How can I make this the way I want it to be, but so that it still feels like it's part of the tennis match? And it was only really a couple days ago that I finally finalized that scene and thought, okay, this is the way I want to do it. And today I'm actually working on editing that scene and putting the visual stuff together, and it's been interesting so far. So, you know, if I probably didn't point it out right now to you guys, then you might not have really known that. You probably wouldn't have seen this scene as different from the rest of the video. It probably just fits nicely with it, because I've tried to make it fit nicely with it. And that's why I've had to keep going over it and doing it over and over again, trying to think of the best way to do it. But anyway, I'm kind of talking very vaguely here, because I don't want to reveal anything about it. So that's probably getting annoying for you guys listening. You're probably thinking, well, he's saying all these words, but he's not relating them to anything specific, so we've got no idea what he's talking about. I suppose I could talk about some of the other videos that I've been trying to work on at the same time. I've been trying to think of ways to do the cam comp for quite a while now. Because I'm kind of seeing like the first cam comp as the pilot, and thinking, okay, well, what did I do there that I could do better in the actual series of cam comp videos? What could I do better? How could I arrange it? How could I put it together? How could it be pieced together so that it's different, but also feels the same as the first cam comp? Because I do like some of the things in the first cam comp. I do like how it turned out. Some of the things were a bit stupid. Some of the scenes were kind of like I've said before, they were edits for the sake of edits, which is something that I really don't like. I don't like having something and having like a thing and then thinking, okay, well, I've got to edit this so that it's edited, and then you just do something stupid like put some kind of weird voice clip over it, or do some movement to the thing. And like, if that doesn't have a meaning, then it's just it just feels stupid to me. I like the edits to actually be there for a reason, to give off some kind of thing, whether it be to be funny or to show a certain thing in the scene, whatever it is. I don't know. Again, I'm talking very vaguely here, but I think I've come up with the way to piece it together. I'm going to put it together as like a video that I present. In a way, there's going to be some on-camera stuff that's probably going to take place in this room, and I'm going to like introduce some things, and then we're going to watch the things, and there'll be edited things. And then I might do some slight commentary over it, because that's something I've been thinking of doing. Like, because I watched through like the camera footage that I've got. I don't know why I pointed over there. My camera's right here. But I like watched through the camera footage that I've got, and I just think, you know, if I did some commentary over this, explaining some of the things, and maybe like writing in some jokes there, because, you know, I wouldn't say I was a very interesting on-camera presence. I mean, that's for you to decide, not for me. But I do kind of enjoy being on camera now. I really didn't, and it seems weird when I say to other people about that, because, you know, that I've got the whole social anxiety thing. It seems weird that I would even want to be on camera in the first place. But when I do, I kind of can just open up and just think clearly, and you know, I think I could, you know, write some good commentary for that, because, you know, it's whether it's actually me saying it or not, you know, the humor is still up here. The humor that you've seen in all my videos it comes from up here. It's not just manufactured somewhere else. So I think I could do a pretty good job with that. No, I don't know. Again, it's just going to be kind of a test thing, but that's what I really like about doing all this new stuff, is that I can just try all these different things, and, you know, sometimes the more different it is, the better. And that was one of the things I was thinking about the Camcoms, is that I didn't want it to be like making a YouTube poop of my camera footage. And I think that's kind of what the first one turned into. But I kind of want it to be a bit of a separate thing from YouTube poop. It was still some of the same, like, well, maybe not the same style of editing, but the same level of editing at least. So that it's not just something that I just sloppily put together. I want to take my time with it. That's probably the way I'm going to arrange it, and I've got some ideas for the first one. They're probably going to be shorter, I'm pretty sure of that. They're not going to be like... How long was the first one? I think it was like 20-25 minutes long. It's not going to be that long. It's probably going to be around 12 minutes or so. That's kind of the length that I usually like to have my videos at. But I guess I might as well tell you guys about another video that I've had planned that I don't think I've mentioned at all. But I want to do a video about Crash Bandicoot. And not Mash Bandicoot 2 or Mash Bandicoot Part 3 or anything like that. I want to do a video where I kind of go over some of the bad things about the original Crash Bandicoot trilogy. And this is something I've wanted to do for a while now, actually, because, you know, I really love Crash Bandicoot. I do. But I do think that it does have problems. And those problems aren't usually addressed by people. People always talk about Crash Bandicoot like being, you know, the pinnacle of platforming. You know, it was the best thing on the PlayStation 1, and, you know, everyone's so happy that they're making HD remakes of it. And I thought, well, that combined will make it so that this is probably the best time to do this video. Because this is around the time, I mean, we just got, like, the release date for the HD remakes, the Insane trilogy. And I thought, maybe this is the best time to do this video, because everyone seems to be talking about Crash Bandicoot, and before then it was only like a few select people who were actually talking about it. There were only like, there were certain YouTubers who talked about Crash Bandicoot, and as well as Spyro the Dragon, and they just kind of did videos on them all the time. And now, ever since they announced the remasters, it's like all of these Crash Bandicoot fans that have just been hiding away have all suddenly come back, and they're like, oh yeah, Crash Bandicoot, I love that. I just don't talk about it because I kind of put it in the background because nothing was happening with it. So this is the time when everyone's kind of talking about Crash Bandicoot, and I think this is probably the best time to make this video. No, not like for views or anything like that, but just because I've wanted to make this video, and I think if I leave it to when the Insane Trilogy comes out, then for all I know they might have fixed a load of the problems that I wanted to talk about anyway, and people will just be comparing it to that anyway, so I wanted to make it before it. But it's going to be kind of an interesting video. It's going to be a new kind of video. It's not going to be me. It's not going to be just like me talking from a script. It's not going to be like a let's play of it either. It's just going to be... I don't know. I don't really think I can reveal it. It's going to be something new. It's going to be something unexpected, I think. But it's something that I'm really looking forward to now. And I really want to just, you know, get into it. And that's probably one of the main things I'm going to focus on as soon as I finish round 3. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be good. I want to start playing Little Big Planet PSP, and I think I mentioned this in the What 2017 Will Bring video. Something that I've wanted to do ever since I decided to do gaming videos is I wanted to play Little Big Planet PSP, because that game was such a big part of my life. It wasn't a necessarily long part of my life, but when it was a part of my life, it was a really big thing. And like, I remember being on like the forums, Little Big Planet Central, and I'd like made a load of online friends talking about Little Big Planet PSP and stuff like that, and some of the levels that people were making were just amazing. And it's a shame that that's kind of filtered out and kind of pretty much died now. Nobody really plays Little Big Planet PSP anymore. For the few people who actually still play Little Big Planet, it's either the original or the newer versions. Nobody really plays the PSP version anymore. But I really want to get back into it. And like I said in the vlog, what I've wanted to do is I wanted to take requests from you guys of things to make in Little Big Planet, whether they be, I don't know, recreations of images, objects, contraptions, or ideas for levels. I just really want to do that, and I think it will be a really fun thing to do, because, you know, while I could easily think of some things to make by myself, I think it's going to be a really good way to get some audience interaction thing in some of my gaming videos, because, you know, I haven't really got that so far. I mean, I've only done like 3 gaming videos. Essentially, I just want to start a load of things that may turn into ongoing series, because I don't want to just leave it for ages and then all of a sudden there's a new thing. I kind of want to just start them all now, and then over time there'll just be more of each one. I don't know if that's necessarily the best way to do it, but that's the way I'm going to do it. So those are some of the things that I'm planning to do. But I don't really know how to start the Little Big Planet one, because I was actually thinking of recording it today, some of it, and I was thinking maybe I could just like put a thing on Twitter saying, hey, give me some ideas of things to make in Little Big Planet. But I don't think I would have got that many requests on Twitter, because I don't have as much of a following on Twitter as I do on YouTube, obviously. So I think it would probably be better if I asked you guys on YouTube, and then you could write in the comments. But then I thought, well, I can't just make a small little video saying like, hey, give me ideas, because I kind of need to give you examples at the same time. So I don't know, I'll probably start that sometime next week, or maybe the week after. I don't know. I'll figure out some way to do it. Or maybe you guys have some suggestions. Maybe you guys could say, I don't know, just make a short little video explaining. I probably need to explain in detail what kind of things I'm looking for, what kind of things you could request. But I think it would be better if you guys had some examples to work off of. Like, I wish I could just start this series partway through, and then you could just watch that episode and think, okay, well, he's looking for stuff like this, so I'll request this, or something like that. But anyway, that's to deal with another time. Okay, so I've kind of gone somewhere different to what I was planning to do for this podcast. What I wanted to talk about in this podcast is I wanted to do some kind of a philosophical message thing, like I usually do. I don't even know where to start. Well, I suppose I'm just going to kind of vent here a bit about some of my own life. I might cut a lot of this out because, you know, I don't want to reveal too much of my personal life. But I guess I'll just talk. For those who don't know, I've been going to the job centre a lot recently because I don't have a job, and I've been trying to work towards doing YouTube as my job, and that's a very difficult thing to do. It's very difficult to start off like that and just think that you can get YouTube as a job, because very few people. Well, I mean, you know, there's a hell of a lot of YouTubers who do it for a living, but there's a tremendous amount more who don't. And only a few select people can actually get that far. To some people, it just seems like a lost cause. It just seems like, well, you know, I'm not going to focus on building the channel so that I can do it for a living. I'm just going to focus on just doing it for fun. And that's absolutely fine. You know, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. And in some ways, I agree with that and would want to do that too. I don't want to make it seem like I'm making videos for the sake of making it my job. It is something that is kind of like a long-term goal that I want to eventually at least try to get somewhere near. And I do make a little bit of money off YouTube already. Not much, but it's growing over time, and I think that if I just keep going, keep building the channel, keep making bigger and better videos, just really having a lot of fun with it, then I can really get this channel going a lot. I mean, this channel, if you think about it, this channel has grown a lot. This is not a small channel really anymore. I mean, it's still a small channel compared to other channels, but not many people really get to 10,000 subscribers actually. And we got there in just over 2 years. Some people have barely got to 5,000, and they've been doing YouTube for like 4 or 5 years. So, this channel is definitely growing, and it will, as far as I can tell, it will continue to grow. So, it's a possibility. I mean, there's probably some of you watching right now who are thinking, he's out of his mind. He's so naive. He's not really thinking on the big scale. He's like thinking he's going to do this for a living. That's very, very unlikely. And yeah, I know it is. Of course it is. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to try. It's kind of weird. I kind of compare myself a lot to other YouTubers that I watch. People, not even just like YouTubers that I'm friends with, but just other YouTubers that I watch. Not like huge, big YouTubers like Markiplier or anything like that. But just other YouTubers that I watch who are around the same kind of level as me. And, they just do it for fun. They have other jobs. They can't devote all their time towards it because they have means of making a living. And I don't know why I compare myself to them, because I'm not that. I'm not a person who can really go out and make a living because of my whole anxiety thing. It's just like one of those things that I can't do. And I was talking to, I think I was talking to Savvy about this. There's like, in people's lives, there's like a sort of pattern. You're born, you go to school, you go to college, or you go to university or something like that. You get a job, you move out, you start a family, you retire, you die. And that's fine. And a lot of people like that. A lot of people want to stick to that as best they can. But that doesn't mean that everybody should. Because the thing about humans is that everyone's different. Everyone is completely different. Everyone has different views. Everyone has different opinions. Everyone has different aspirations and goals. And not everybody wants to stick to that. And not everybody can stick to that. Some people just simply can't start a family. Some people just simply can't get a job. I've come to accept the fact that I'm just one of those people who can't get a job because of my anxiety, and it's just like, it's a prevention. It's my brain saying, this isn't good for you, I'm not letting you do it. I don't know why I always compare myself to other people and thinking, well, they've got a job, I should be getting a job. I can't get a job. That's the simple thing about it. I can't do it. So I can either live off, this flipping, it's essentially disability benefit, but I don't call it that. I don't think anyone calls it that, because it's not like I really have a disability. It's just a health condition that just prevents me from getting a job, in the real world. So, I could either just live off that for the rest of my life and just, live here in my parents' house for the rest of my life, and my life would just go on the way it is now. But I really don't want that to happen. I'm kind of getting really personal here. I wasn't expecting to get this personal, but I don't want that to happen. Essentially, I can't get a job, and that's just a fact. That's just something I've accepted, and that makes me different from you, and that's fine. Some people can go out and get a job. If I could, I would, but I can't. I would much rather work towards possibly getting to do YouTube as a job if there isn't really another option. And for me, there isn't really another option. When I found out that you could do YouTube as a job, that's all I've wanted to focus on. Because there isn't really another option for me. And that just seems like the best thing in the world. It's something I can do from home. And it's something that I am good at. You know, I still feel like I need to convince you that I'm not the same person as you. Don't compare me to you. Don't take this as like advice for your own life. Because this is different. This is me. This is my life. This is the way my life is being lived. And it's not the same way as yours. Well, it might be similar to yours, depending on what your life is like. But what I mean is, like, I'm not trying to say this as I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. But anyway, the reason I brought this up, the reason I wanted to say this, is because I just kind of wanted to talk about life, I guess. Just life. And basically, recently I've been thinking of just not going to the job centre anymore. And, you know, of course that means that that's going to be a bit of a problem financially. And, you know, I've thought that through, obviously. I'm not just ignoring that. But, like, I've been going through, like, the pros and cons, because it is very difficult for me to go out and talk to people, whether they be at the job centre or not. It's very difficult for me to go to those places. And some people, as much as they try to sympathise with me, they don't understand that. And I know they don't understand that, and that I don't expect them to understand that. You know, like I've said before, I understand it better than anyone, but I don't fully understand it. It just got me thinking, like, if there's something in your life that is kind of just expected, like if there's one of those things, like I said before, one of those points in your life that is just kind of expected of you, but you don't feel like you can go down that path, or you don't want to go down that path, or you want to go down a different path, or anything like that, it's not up to tradition to decide that for you. It's not up to the rules of life to decide that for you. It's not up to people who obey the rules of life to decide that for you. It's up to you to decide that for you. And I'm not saying, like, don't listen to other people, don't take anyone else's input or advice or anything like that. Obviously you should, and you need to talk about these things to, you know, family and friends and stuff like that, because, you know, like I said before, everyone's different, everyone has different views, and you need to see things from different viewpoints. But ultimately, if you truly believe that you want to go down a certain path in your life, then the rules of life, the points of life, the traditions, the born, school, college, university, job, family, retire, die, those points, they shouldn't be preventions. They're like guidelines for life, basically, but they're not rules. I know I was calling them rules, but you know, that if you want to deviate and you think that that would benefit you, you think that's the thing you want to do, that you think that would work out better for you in the short term and the long term, then those, you can't treat them as preventions. You can't just think, okay, well, you know, people expect me to go to university now, but I don't really want to. I think I'd rather just go get a job or something like that. Then, you know, that shouldn't even really obstruct you at all. You shouldn't even consider that an obstruction. And, you know, I don't know, once you've moved out, people might expect you to, you know, somewhat settle down and start a family. And some people want that, but some people don't. And you can't expect people to want that, is what I'm saying, I think. You can't just like see these points and think, okay, well, you're at this point now, so you should be focusing on this. But, you know, people can go wherever they want in their life, as long as they think that it's best for them. And I know it sounds selfish, and, you know, well, it is selfish, really. But, you know, sometimes selfish isn't a bad thing. Sometimes you need to be selfish. Sometimes you need to put yourself before others. You know, not all the time, obviously. And you've got to consider other people. You know, if you doing a certain thing is going to affect someone else in a certain way, then you need to think about that. But you can't just let other people's ideology just get in the way of you making your own path in life. So yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say on that. I apologise if a lot of that didn't make sense to you guys. I apologise if I kind of contradicted myself a lot in that. I probably did. In fact, I'm pretty sure I did. Because I think I called them rules and then said they weren't rules. And I think I also said that I'm not trying to give you advice for life, and then I went and gave you advice for life. But, you know, I don't know. You know, these aren't planned. I don't plan what to say when I'm doing these podcasts. I just kind of spiel. Yeah, no, I think that there was one other thing I wanted to say on that, was just that if there's obstructions, if you treat those things, those points, as obstructions, then get rid of them. You know, that's the simple thing to do. And it kind of leads on. Not, I wasn't planning to say any of this, but it kind of leads on to something else that I was thinking about, maybe talking about, which was that if there is obstructions in your life, if there's problems, if there's barriers that you need to get through, then just find a way to get through them or get around them. You know, so many people, like, there's a problem that occurs in their life, and instead of finding a way to deal with the situation, they just kind of, well, not necessarily accept it, but they just kind of, they don't deal with it. And I don't understand that. I've never understood that. And, you know, it's happened in my family a lot, with like people in my close family. And every time it happens, I just think, why aren't you thinking of ways around this? Why are you thinking of it like this is a big problem that you're not going to be able to overcome? Because I think people have the philosophy that life is a struggle. And I don't think it is. Life isn't a struggle. Life has struggles, but life itself isn't a struggle. You know, it kind of goes back to when I was doing those personality tests on the last podcast, or was it the podcast before? I don't remember. But one of the questions was, life is, and one of the answers was hard, and I picked what you make it, because that's something I truly believe. Life is what you make it. Life is hard if you make it hard. Life is easy if you make it easy. If you have problems or obstructions or barriers, and you don't try and get over them or around them, then you're making your own life hard. It's something that I mean, I'm sure there's reasons for people not trying to overcome barriers or get around barriers or anything like that. But it's just something that's always confused me. It's almost like people like to be in problematic situations, which I don't get. I don't understand at all. I honestly don't. If there's a problem, if there's some kind of obstruction in my life, then I am going to find a way around it. Most of the time I find ways around it instead of through it. I don't often get through barriers. I think of ways around them. And I'm trying to think of an example. But if there's any kind of problem, then I'm not just going to sit around and just accept it and just think, oh, life is so difficult, isn't it? It's not difficult. Just make it easier for yourself. I'm sure there's reasons. I'm sure there's reasoning behind these kind of things, but it's just something I've never really understood. I've never understood. It almost seems like I'm an alien who's trying to understand the human race. I don't get it. I don't get why people don't work around obstructions in their life. I don't understand. People kind of just accept that life is difficult and there's problems that get in the way. And there is, obviously. Things just happen and you can't prevent them necessarily. But once there is a problem, try and fix it. Just think clearly. Stop stressing about it. Stop moping around. Just think clearly, how can I resolve this problem? Or how can I work around this problem to make life a bit easier? This has been kind of a weird podcast because I kind of have gone on to talk about something that I'm not really sure I knew what I was saying. But I just did it again. I don't know where I was going with that sentence. I feel like this has been a very long podcast. Sometimes when I do podcasts, it just goes by like that. This one has felt like it's been really long. I think it's probably because I'm actually on camera. A lot of the time when I listen to podcasts, like an hour goes by like that. But when I'm watching a video, then, it goes by like an hour. If it's an hour-long video, obviously. If I can't think of anything else to talk about, I might as well just finish this. But anyway, I think I'm just going to stop it here, and I'm going to carry on working on the tennis round 3. I'm really looking forward to that. I really like what I've done so far, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I think it would be good. I think, like I said to Jimmy, I think it will be better than round 1, but I don't know if it will be better than round 2. And I wasn't just saying that to make him feel good. I was saying it because, that's going to be a pretty hard thing to top. I mean, he said himself that PBG's Ping Pong Poop is his favourite video that he's ever made. He thinks it's the best YouTube poop he's made. And his YouTube poops are amazing, so that's going to be pretty hard to top. So I don't think it's going to top it, but I think it's definitely going to top round 1. Round 1, I look back on now and I don't like some of it. I guess that's it. I guess we'll just stop that. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Maybe, I don't know if you were actually sat here watching me. You're probably listening. I don't know why I decided to do this as an on-camera one, but who cares? It doesn't matter. So I guess I will just end it there, and I'll see you on Friday for the round 3. And then there'll be some of the videos that I talked about, or maybe something else afterwards. So I'll see you then. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening, whatever. Bye.